to episode number 1 of our pod stream, Kings of Influence, the pod stream where we talk about social media ethics, that kind of stuff. I'm Ray William Johnson.
I'm Epic Lloyd. Welcome to the episode number 1.
All right.
So you guys are here.
Yeah, no kidding, man. So we've been trying to put this thing together for about 6 months. We've been trying to make a podcast for you guys, or pod stream as we like to call it. And we had a few setbacks. We were working with a guy. It didn't work out because he had kind of another job. We were trying to get set up with his other podcast company. That didn't work out either. And so Lloyd and I just said, you know what? Let's just shoot it ourselves.
We soldiered on. You know what we did? We put our nose to the grindstone, which there's no more grindstones, okay? We have like manufacturing company that make these weapons. But anyway, we put our nose to that grindstone and we pushed on. And you know what? Honestly, it feels like sort of like it always was going to have to be this way because like it's on the indie tip. For all you kids out there. And that's kind of what we always been like anyway. So DYI.
There you go. I mean, I'm into it, man. I'm into it. Let's just do it. Let's get on. We'll talk about things that are happening in social media, a couple of stories. Got 3 different stories we want to talk to you guys about. Yep. We can talk about the stories, then we can talk about kind of the ethics behind it, and it gets pretty interesting. We got a story about a guy a YouTuber who was arrested in Disney World for a prank video that he did.
Good.
We got a story. Hold on. We got a story about Lil Tay and her disappearance. Okay. And I can remind you guys who she is here in a second. And then we got a story about a guy who went to an accident scene and was taking selfies.
Oh, God.
So we can talk about all that stuff.
Here's what's going to happen a lot on this pod stream, excuse me, is Ray tends to be a smart guy, and he looks into the headlines, and he goes into the news, and he finds out, and he wants to know what's going on. I want to put my head in the sand, and so at least once or twice on every episode of this podcast, Ray's probably going to tell me something that happened in the news that I had no idea about, and you're just going to get like a reaction video out of us because I haven't heard any of these stories. He had to tell me who Lil Tay was the other day, which I kind of liked. But anyway, yeah, this is going to be fun. And also, we should mention that we're going to do this every Wednesday at noon, right?
Noon California time.
Yeah, so Kings of Influence will be every Wednesday at noon California time. That's PST, I think.
PST?
Yeah, PST.
That's right.
So tune in and like our pages and do all that kind of good stuff. So
no, that's going to be great. It's going to like every people are going to take little clips from our podcast and everything, and every single one's going to be like Lloyd reacts to this news story, and every thumbnail is going to be you shocked, like
jeez. I just hope I don't say the wrong thing. You know what I mean? And I land on the wrong side of something, and then you're like, oh man.
And 10 years later,
yeah,
people look back and you remember when Lloyd was pro Lil Tay?
I know exactly. I am for the record.
The wrong side of history, buddy.
I'm pro Lil Tay.
We can get into Lil Tay in a bit, but I'm definitely anti Lil Tay. As much as I can be anti a 9-year-old girl,
Amen.
I'm anti Lil Tay. But we'll get into that in a second.
All right.
That's right.
With these 2 hands right here, you know what I did the other day? I fixed the dryer. Hell yeah, bro. I felt like a man. I literally watched hair grow on my chest. I got down in there. I took apart my dryer, and I'm talking about like the like not a hair dryer, like a dryer, son. Like you can kill people in that shit. And like I fixed it. I opened it up. Man, I'm so good at the family right now. I'm excited.
So afterwards, did you walk around with like your chest puffed out a little more and stuff?
I posted a photo of my biceps on Instagram.
After you fixed the dryer?
Yep. And I said, these are the biceps of a man that just fixed the dryer.
Oh my God. That's such a like,
you're
getting into like dad territory with that stuff, man.
Come on, dude. All my friends have 2 kids. What are you talking about?
So I'm not like a handy guy at all. So that I do that shit every time I like open a pickle jar for Kelly. You know what I'm talking about? Like when when your girl comes up to you and she's like, she just hands you that jar. Like, can you open it for me? Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah. It's like suddenly you just feel so masculine. Oh, I got this, baby.
I got this.
Give it.
And you try not to make the look on your face. Like you try to, like the coolest day, you do it like, and then you're good. But on a bad day, you struggle. Yeah.
I love it, man. No, it's just those little moments that you're like, yeah, that's right. She lets me see her naked. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So first up, look, I read this story. This social media. This made me think about social media ethics a lot, and what we're going to talk about in this pod stream. So this happened at Disney World about a week ago. There's this guy reported his name is Dylan Birch, okay?
Okay.
Now, he is allegedly a YouTuber, and I say allegedly because I tried to look him up, and I didn't find anything. Doesn't mean he's not. It just means like I couldn't find anything under that name for sure.
Or they brought him down.
Or they maybe. Yeah, maybe they did. Maybe they did. That's a thing. I couldn't find anything. So anyway, this guy goes to Disney World. He's from Arizona. He goes to Disney World. He stays in one of the Disney World resorts in this hotel. It's around midnight, supposedly, and he gets this idea that he's going to do one of these prank videos. Oh, man. Now, he starts going up to guests in the hotel, and he's trying to film their reactions. So he starts telling them that there is an active shooter in the building so that he can film essentially their panic, right? Now, it wasn't long before, obviously the hotel reacts. It wasn't long before the hotel, put the place on lockdown, literal lockdown. Someone eventually figured out what was going on, the staff or the manager, and so the manager approaches him and confronts him, and the guy runs.
Yeah.
He tries to make excuses, then he runs away, hides in the bushes, and I don't know why he didn't, run away, but I guess he just, chilled in the bushes until the cops got there.
And they just found him in the bushes?
Yeah, well, the way that I was reading this Fox News article and the way that they were describing it, he, crawled out of the bushes and was like, I'm the guy you want. And he spent 3 days in jail.
That's it?
I know. Spent 3 days in jail. He's banned from Disney World for life, clearly. But the guy said, when he was confronted, he said that he was trying to make a prank video for his YouTube channel.
I can't believe the kid doesn't get in jail. You should be, I feel like there's people in jail for 30 years for selling dime bags of weed in Compton. This motherfucker's out there, and I probably shouldn't swear as much as I do. That's nuts. He should be in jail. You should do time for that.
I feel like, well, here's the thing. Maybe he did 3 days in jail, and he's awaiting, a bigger trial. I didn't really get the story beyond that.
Yeah.
But we can talk about prank videos all day because
you know how I feel about prank videos.
Yeah. Well, there's gray lines of there's ethical gray line in prank videos. There always has been. There's always, prank videos are an easy way to get a lot of views really quickly because of the shock value and because they invite so much engagement immediately.
Yeah, and it's what I don't like about prank videos is that it's not you. You're benefiting off of somebody else's reaction to your dumb idea, and then that is what's growing your views. You're not even that talented.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a difference between a good-natured prank video and a bad-natured prank video. And I do like good-natured prank videos, like Scary Snowman. I think it's one of my favorite type of videos ever. It's fun, it's good-natured, it makes people's lives brighter. I saw a video of a guy throwing a body off of the second story of a mall, inside the mall, so it looked like someone committed suicide in the mall. That is not a good-natured video. You know what I mean? You should do time for that.
A fake
Imagine,
body.
If someone, I busted my leg real bad in college, right? And I can't watch certain shows or certain if someone if there's gore or something in it, it literally takes me back to seeing my knee out the side of my leg. And so imagine you're somebody who had some sort of weird trauma or something like that in the mall, and then you see a body fall down right in front of you. That could do serious mental harm to you. You know what I mean? All for some joke. So fuck those guys. And YouTube should crack down on that, I think, too. I think YouTube and Facebook, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are, maybe that's why you couldn't find them, is that has no place. There's no place for that. Maybe on the dark web, but that's it.
On the dark web. Well, all right. So let me say I know a hand because those pranks are really big on Facebook right now, and that's kind of my jam. I know a lot of those prank guys, and they come in all different shapes and sizes, all different types.
Right.
There's prank couples where it's boyfriend girlfriend pranking each other. Prank friends where it's friends pranking each other. It's sort of the jackass model.
Right.
There's all these models, and so the first thing I have to say is 9 times out of 10, they're fake. They're fake. Yeah. Everyone's in on it. They talk about it beforehand. Oh, you're going to react this way. And if you're any kind of actor, you can tell by watching how bad they act. It's just not natural.
Yeah.
But it's fine. They're not hurting anyone. It's an act. They're entertaining their audience. Maybe the audience is in on it. Maybe it's not. But that's not my place to say.
Yeah.
Because they're all in on it. They're not hurting anyone. And then you've got people who do pranks out in public and they're trying to get people's reactions, but they're like good-natured pranks. Like,
yeah,
I'm less comfortable with those, but more comfortable than what Disney World guy did for sure.
Just the extremities of it. It just goes to show you like how extreme things are. Like people aren't happy anymore with just like a little critter in your mailbox. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of funny. You know, like you get a little laugh out of it or something.
Yeah.
But now it's got to be like there was those guys who like did the prank on the plane. They're doing this thing about like some sort of they made it so that they got kicked off the plane, and then they made it so it looked like they were getting kicked off the plane because of their race, and that was not the case. They were being obnoxious like on purpose for the specific reason to get kicked off the plane, and then try to loop it around the other way. And you're like, my God, you guys, how hard are you trying to make this life for everybody? You know, like shit. Like I get you want to be a YouTube star or a Facebook star or a Twitter star or something, but like what stars? Who are they looking up to? Like, who are they trying to be? Like Johnny Knoxville, or like...
That's what I was wondering myself, because I'm looking at the gamut of these prank guys, and even the ones who have really, really big audiences, the sort of the prank couples of it all.
Yeah.
You know, they get millions and millions of views on each video because they know how to provoke people in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But like they don't have loyal audiences.
Yeah.
They have like angry audiences.
Yeah, they enjoy watching somebody else go through, like those parents who were like pranking their children like until they cried and shit, and then they took their kids away. You're like, yeah, good, take those kids.
Yeah.
Those kids are messed up. I will say though, like I feel like some of those prank channels, like Prank versus Prank with Jesse and his I guess his ex-girlfriend now, but like I would argue that even more than the pranks, that became like a vlog channel. Like people were into them as a couple, and that's why that channel succeeded so well. Because Jesse's massive, you know. He's I think moved on from doing pranks, and he's still doing very well. And I think that the people got hooked into that couple as people, and that's kind of beautiful. You know what I mean? And they're one of those people who I think did the pranks where they knew about it ahead of time or whatever. So that I understand. But it just takes one time for someone to see the wrong thing or for some prank to go wrong, like this kid in Disney World. What if somebody really got hurt? Like, God, you just don't think about it. I don't know. Like, but look at this kid. He looks like look at him. The photo of this kid, like he looks like he just got out of a freaking cow milking factory or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this guy going, he's either going to be a YouTube prank sensation or a school shooter.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. Yeah. So if I had to choose one, I'd say, well, I'm glad you did the thing at Disney World and got arrested.
Yeah.
You know, lesser of two evils.
I do think that everybody does have a school shooter photo, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not to make fun of school shootings at all. It's not funny. But everybody's got that one photo of themselves where you're like, and that's the one they always pick. Like if you do something stupid, they're like, Epic Lloyd of Rap Battles of History. It's like my 7th grade photo of just me like, oh.
Right. Just your most murderous
just the worst
look on your face. No, that's, but so these guys, like, you've got these different levels of pranks, getting away from the fake stuff, right?
Yeah.
You've got stuff that's a little more good-natured. You've got people that are in on it. You've got stuff that's less fake, meaning like the Jackass guys. I would say that would fall under not fake, but they were in on it. Meaning they knew pranks were going to happen, they just didn't know what it was. And I'm okay with that because the victim of your prank is
your pal.
They're part of it.
Yeah.
They're in on it. They've essentially given you their permission, which I know is antithetical to what a prank is supposed to be, but like it's 2018, let's adjust some definitions.
Sure.
Right? So what I don't like is when the victim of first of all, your prank isn't good-natured at all and making people feel that they're in like that their life is in danger.
Or somebody else's life is in danger. Imagine you find out you're a coward.
What?
You know what I mean? Like imagine the prank is like a little kid in the middle of the street and like the mom's like, come help my kid, and you just discover you're a coward. Like, how awful would that be?
That sounds like your worst nightmare. That sounds like you've had nightmares about that.
That is my worst nightmare, dude. I am so much more scared of getting hit and dying by a car than I'm more scared of being a coward and standing on the side of the road and freezing and having to live with that for the rest of my life. But, like, there's a very high chance for anyone that would happen. You know what I mean? So, like...
Or Or someone comes up to you and they say, "Oh, there's an active shooter and he's shooting," and you like pull your wife in front of you.
It's like, babe, get in front of me. Exactly. Or even worse, just like the school mascot. I'm like, where's this eagle?
You hide behind the big ass head mascot. I mean, yeah, that's a reality. Well, that's the thing. That's what they're banking on. They're banking on making an unsuspecting bystander look their absolute worst because they were caught off guard.
Yeah.
And in those moments that might happen. Imagine you're in that hotel. Imagine you're going down to the ice machine. You got your ice bucket in your hand. And this guy runs up and he's like, "There's an active shooter," and you run away. First of all, let's pretend you run like a girl.
Right.
You don't run in a straight line because you're freaking out, and you squeal a little bit when you run because you think your life's in danger.
Oh, boy.
Now, that is in this guy's prank video.
Yeah.
And that he is, I mean, I don't care about the money of it all, but that he is trying to leverage that to build a name for himself, to get, like, famous or whatever it is. I mean, it's a... Look, we're talking about ethics. Ethically, it's a shitty thing to do.
That's a shit show.
And I'm glad the guy got arrested.
I'll tell you what, if I run like a girl, I'm running like FloJo out of that fucking hotel. Woo! Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Woo. Like Jackie Joyner. Yeah, man, that gets a thumb down for me. I don't know what our voting scale is, but like that guy gets a big tea bag from me. That's what he gets.
What?
He gets a big sack tea bag from Epic Lloyd for that bullshit prank.
Well, I
wish we had a sound effect like pom 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 pom.
Oh yeah, we can. I just don't know how to work that part of the switchboard quite yet, but we can get that stuff. Yeah, man, I would say if you're gonna do pranks, make sure that the people are the victims of it are in on it. I don't like get upset when I see a staged prank. I'm not like, this is fake. I'm like, good. They're fucking with actors who were paid to be there. They're not messing with people in public like an old woman who didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
There are these guys, and they blew up on Facebook, and their whole thing is they dress up like terrorists, like the traditional, I don't want to say terrorists, it's their words, not mine, but the traditional like Saudi Arabian garb with the cloth and with the thing. I don't. That's called a specific thing, and I don't know what it's called.
I don't know either.
But it's got the like circle around it and whatever, and the robes.
Yep.
All of it. They dress in that, and then they carry like this sort of fake dynamite, like this bomb, like this almost cartoony bomb, and then they go and throw it at people.
Who's this?
And yell like,
don't even say their name.
No, I don't want to publicize them.
Yeah.
And they yell like, Allahu Akbar or whatever, and they film the people freaking out. Now, I'm going to get... So first of all, I know a little bit of that story, and this is all hearsay, which is why I don't want to say their name anyway, but when those pranks started out with those guys, they were real.
The bombs were real?
No. The victims, like they weren't actors. It was real. It was real, not the bombs, but they were really getting people to freak out. I mean, that is... I mean, they don't necessarily live in the United States, but that is... literally the clear and present danger clause of the First Amendment. It's like you have freedom of speech and freedom of expression, except for that. Except you can't run into a theater, a crowded theater, and yell fire. And that's like almost literally what these guys are doing. They're except instead of yelling fire, they're throwing a bomb. No brainer that's a big hairy teabag. Right. Thumbs down. So then they got in trouble with the law, and I can't remember how. I don't know if they got sued or arrested or something like that. And then they came back and they were doing them again, but they were so this time they were like staged, like they got actors. Now, this is one of the few times where I would say, yeah, these are fake. They've got actors involved. I would still say it's socially irresponsible to put that shit out there. Totally. Partly it's like ethnocentrist for one. It's bigoted. Yeah, you're promoting You're promoting this culture as terrorist. Like it's shitty. It's really shitty.
Yeah. How do you not understand that? Like who? There's people like I've always been. I feel like there's empathy and sympathy, and I'm trying to remember which one is which. Sympathy is having felt the same thing before and sympathizing with something. And empathy is not necessarily having felt the same thing, but you can like feel somebody's pain. You know what I mean? So like empathy. Some people don't have any empathy where they're like they can't feel that someone is uncomfortable or upset or or they enjoy it, or they can feel it, and that makes them feel happy. And that is such a far cry from. I'm not like a very brain smart person, but I'm sort of smart in terms of like the vibe of the room and like how somebody's being like emotionally intelligent, you know? And so I just, and I'm also like a middle child, so I'm sort of like always like helping the situation. I shy away from making people feel uncomfortable so fast in an actual real-time situation. Like I'm going to try to do whatever, unless I go past and then I get really pissed, and then we're a different story. But like for the most part, like I'm just like leveling the room as much as possible. And I feel so uncomfortable when someone in the room is embarrassed or feeling like ostracized or whatever. And I just can't imagine not being in tune with that. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a foreign concept for me that I can't wrap my brain around why anybody would get any joy out of seeing somebody be terrified or petrified, you know?
Well, my guess is that they look at it in a cost-benefit analysis. Like, they look at it and they go, okay, I'm going to make someone feel like shit. Maybe I will feel like a terrible person for a while, but I have this goal of getting famous. Ugh. And that's the trade-off. If I have to make someone feel bad, fine. You know, I'm just being real, brah. I'm just being me.
Just being me, bro.
I'm just being me.
Bro.
Right. And, like, those snowflakes need to lighten up.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm guessing.
People who came up with the term snowflakes have never lived in North Dakota. Like, if you want to, like, make the term snowflake like a soft powder puff, like, you've never fucking lived in the cold, bro. That shit will eat you alive.
Right?
Like, I dare you to live where there's actual snow and it's actual cold. You will never disrespect the term snowflake again. You call it something else.
Oh, yeah. Like
call it, like, palm trees or something, you know? Like, something where it's, like, you know, call it, like summer vacation, something that's actually soft. But like snow in its raw form is tough. So,
well, I mean, but that goes for a lot of words, you know, like language, but the word pussy.
Right.
You ever felt one of those? You ever grabbed one of those?
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't equate that with being cowardly at all.
Yeah, right. Well, I think those words are separating farther and farther. So hopefully we will always separate them.
Oh my God.
All right.
So you ready to talk about Lil Tay?
Oh hell yeah! I'm always ready to talk about Lil Tay.
Love talking about Lil Tay.
Load her up.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, you know these microphones cost more than your mama's rent.
Ooh. So we will refresh you. Give me 30 seconds to refresh you of who Lil Tay is, just for some of you who don't know who she is. Lil Tay is this 9-year-old social media phenomenon. She has recently blown up within probably the last month or so. And she's supposedly the biggest flexer in the world. She makes these little Instagram videos where she's flashing money, she's doing expensive cars, and she's really coming into the foreground, I would say, in the social media world. Like, everyone's talking about her. So let's get a refresher of who Lil Tay is.
Oh, yeah. Bring it up.
Yeah, Lil Tay. No, let me... Oh.
Lil Tay out here balling in the IA. I dropped 200 racks on this car, and I'm only 9 years old. I got the keys to the car.
Wow.
See, these are butterfly wings.
Oh, yeah, Lil Tay.
This car here, I've been driving this around the Beverly Hills area, and I'm only 9 years old. I got no
she's
license.
only 9 years old.
I know what's going to happen when she's 10.
Message to all y'all broke-ass haters. Y'all ain't doing it like Lil Tay. This is why all y'all fucking haters hate me. This shit cost me $200,000. I'm only 9 years old. I ain't got no license, but I still drive this sports car, bitch. Your favorite rapper ain't even doing it like Lil Tay.
Right.
It's Lil Tay. Let me tell y'all something. This shit costs more to your rent. My toilet costs more to your rent. Everything in my bathroom.
That's the bumper sticker, man.
Yeah, let's...
This bumper sticker costs more than your mama's rent.
Damn. So Lil Tay, yeah. Now Lloyd is pro Lil Tay. I'm anti Lil Tay. Not a fan. In terms, I mean, just that whole thing I think is horrible, but maybe that's the old man in me. So it recently came out that Lil Tay's brother was actually the one behind that, and her mom a little bit too, was behind the whole act, and that her mother was some kind of real estate agent, and that's how they were getting into all these nice houses that Lil Tay was claiming that she owned.
Yeah, and on the Lamborghinis and stuff.
Right. Then just like 4 days ago, she had a Good Morning America. Her and her mom went on Good Morning America.
Oh, they did?
Like there was like an interview. I almost got a clip of it. But it's not really that revealing. Lil Tay stays in character.
She does?
Yeah, and the mom, when you watch it, clearly the mom is like negligent.
Oh, really?
I mean, she just feels very hands off as a human being, not even as. But anyway, so get this: they recently, in the last few weeks, moved because they're from Canada. They moved to L.A. because I guess they were gonna like make it big, like the mom, the brother, and Lil Tay. And
why is it always Canadians? I feel like Canadians are like all over the entertainment industry right now.
I don't know. I know they're like the Brits of yesterday,
right?
Yeah, or the Aussies. So then, just a day after that, or whatever, suddenly Lil Tay's social media accounts
got taken down.
They got taken down. I don't know if they got taken down.
Anonymous.
I don't know if she took them down. I don't know if Instagram took them down, but it's all of them. It's her Instagram, her YouTube, and I believe her Twitter. I don't know if she actually has Twitter or if they were fake, but they all came down. You can see it here. Looks 2.4 million followers, no posts.
Wow.
All of it.
What if it's a stunt?
It could be, but there's a couple of things going on. One, you have to be 13 to even have a Twitter account.
Oh, she's only 9 years old.
She's only 9.
She's only 9 years old. She got all this money.
She's proclaiming it very, very loudly.
Well, that's legit. That's Twitter being like,
It's Instagram being like, Maybe.
Or Instagram.
Maybe. It could be.
So you're supposed to be 13 to have an Instagram. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think Facebook too. Well, it's the same company, so yeah, that would make sense.
How old does a dog have to be?
Ooh, in dog years or regular years?
I mean, dogs have Instagram accounts, don't they?
That's true.
I mean, I'm sure they're not 13 years old.
You don't think Doug the Pug is?
I don't think Doug the Pug is 13. I think this is blatant
double standards.
Ageism.
Double standards. You know why? It's because Doug the Pug is left wing.
Yeah, Doug is.
And Lil Tay is clearly right wing.
Yeah.
With all her money. So there you go. It's a clear double standard where Doug the Pug gets away with things, where this bitch gets away with things.
Right.
And also Doug the Pug gets away with things.
Doug the Pug. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's them taking it down, or either that or it's a stunt. Like Childish Gambino's Instagram account only had one video. Only had one. It was nothing. It was one. It was the This Is America video.
Oh wow,
that was brilliant. It was like blank, and then that dropped. Unless he just opened that account on the day it came out, which also would have been pretty dope.
Right.
But all of a sudden it was just there. So maybe she's gearing up for when she turns 10, and she's gonna be bigger, more Lambos, more cash money. Maybe she's gonna be on a skateboard. All right, Lil Tay, if you're out there, I got so many ideas for you. No, if her mom was negligent, that's sad. I'm hoping it's a character, and that everybody sort of knows it's a character. But who knows, man? I
think people know it's a character at this point. But let me show you something else.
All right.
Let me show you something else. This is definitely worth it. So before she deleted her account, this other video went viral, and this was one of those like unintentional viral videos. Her brother filmed her smoking out of a hookah. And you can see that Lil Tay's mom is also there too.
Okay.
Now, this started floating around. 9 years old, smoking tobacco out of a hookah. And this was when I think people started to go, hey, wait a minute. I thought this was supposed to be an act.
Right.
Right? Like, what is going on here? Let's take a look at it.
And it takes a while. And
Yep.
I'll also say, I haven't seen very many of these Tay videos. So if she says some dumbass, I mean, maybe she says some dumbass shit, and that's why everybody hate her. But from what I've seen, all the, like, just the loop clips, so far it seems pretty harmless. But we'll see.
Oops. That's not it. Where we go? There we go.
That's not it.
There we go. Okay, so we have Lil Tay here smoking out of a hookah. There she is coughing.
Wait, that was a different thing. Oh, that looked like something horrible. This is a hookah? Okay. What do you smoke when you smoke out of a hookah? Isn't that tobacco?
It is tobacco.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I
So
thought it
yeah,
was
you
like
smoke
those
tobacco
little-
out of a hookah.
I thought it was
What'd you
those
think it
little
was?
bricks of. It's like hookah stuff. It's not, because whenever I smoked out of a hookah, it was never tobacco. It's like it's something else. What is it when you smoke out of a hookah, you guys?
I'm guessing whatever it is, it's not good for a 9-year-old.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what.
not any better than vape companies naming their tobacco strands like lollipop candy or like snow cones or stuff like that. Oh, it's hashish?
No, it's not hash.
That's
I mean,
weed.
you can smoke hash out of it.
Yeah,
You can also smoke weed. I suppose you can smoke it. I mean, I guess it depends. But whatever it is, it's not
Making
candy.
her cough.
Yeah, it's not candy. It's not good.
Yeah.
And you could see her mom there in the background. So here's what I think. I think the brother is behind all of it, and he's in that teenager, like, yeah, we're all going to be famous from this.
Yeah.
And he's got that teenage mindset where he's not realizing that this is pushing his little sister in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And I think the mom is negligent. I think she's whatever the opposite of a tiger mom is.
A tiger mom?
Yeah. That's she's not a helicopter parent.
Right.
She's hands off.
Yeah, she's just lazy. Where's her dad? No dad?
That I don't know.
I that's the worst case scenario.
Right.
The best case scenario is they're all in on it, and they're but I just don't know if people are that smart. But like, I just think I can think of worse examples, though. You know what I mean? Like what's
what?
worse? Like having your 9-year-old in the circus. Like, what's more dangerous, smoking out of a hookah or like putting your kid on the trapeze?
That's a good. Wow.
Well,
circus is pretty broad.
Yeah, but like there's trapeze kids, you got like gymnasts who are like 12 and competing in the Olympics. Like that shit is dangerous. Hookah,
There's honor in being in the circus.
There's honor in that, yeah, I guess so. But it's also child labor. It's also dangerous. I'm just saying it's dangerous. There's no more chance. It's not any less dangerous to smoke out of a hookah than it is to fly on the flying trapeze at a young age. I stand by it.
I mean, it could be worse. There could be a lion tamer.
Yeah.
Or the bearded lady at 9. Somehow.
Then you just risk being alone for the rest of your life.
Right. She's part of the freak show at 9.
Oh, no. No, man. I mean, so she's disappeared now. Mm-hmm. Is she kind of, is there any sign? Has there been any updates since this last deletion of accounts?
Not since she disappeared.
Radio silence.
And so if you remember what was that story we talked about where there was a vlogging family and they vlogged themselves pranking their kids and it ended up being like borderline abusive.
Oh yeah, that was not borderline. That was abuse.
Child Protective Services came and took those kids or took a couple of them.
Wow, yeah.
Like Child Protective Services doesn't fuck around.
Yeah, good for them.
So if Child Protective Services saw any of this Lil Tay stuff,
right,
I guarantee you. Right. I guarantee you they have put in some kind of inquiry, made some kind of phone call.
Right, good call.
And that would be the point at which most parents go, yeah, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah. No, because if you're making money off of your kid, which you would for these things if you're growing that fast, like in the entertainment industry, like as a kid, if like you have a kid on set or like if he's in a show or something like that, there's super strict laws about how long they can work, how long their meals are, their breaks. They have to have a tutor on set. They have like their parent, all these things. And that shit is regulated. And that's for like shows that not 2.5 million people see.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's for like any kind of little commercial or whatever. So yeah, you're probably right. As soon as they see that flare up, they're probably going like, this is the same as any other entertainment. It's supposed to be social media, but it's obviously written or obviously like worked out.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they call them up and be like, this ends now.
Yeah.
Or we're going to take your daughter from you.
Yeah. Then CPS does not fuck around.
Ooh.
They are gangster as fuck.
That's kind of gangster though.
Yeah. They should do a procedural show about CPS.
Oh,
it'd be super heartbreaking.
Watch people's kids be just dragged away from them. Oh.
Well, think about like Law and Order Special Victims Unit, right?
Yeah.
It's like this new. It's an episodic. It's new every week. Yeah. But except instead of finding heinous crimes or drug offenses, it's like the CPS. It's like
Law and Order. We're coming for your kids.
We're coming to take your fucking kid.
Oh my god.
But no, it could be like a rescue scenario, not like a oh my god.
Right.
But it could be every episode you could feel like they're rescuing the kid. Like you want the kid to get out of there.
Right. I remember there was an old episode of The Incredible Hulk about that. It was like a big deal because it was like the first instance on TV of it, when they dealt with child abuse, and it was a big deal. You want some more water? It's over there. I can't reach.
No, I'm good. I'm good for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, big ups to Lil Tay. I hope you make it through.
Man. Imagine if she just stayed in character until she was 18. She was back like, yo, Lil Tay.
Well, so when you watch the Good Morning America interview, now I wish I'd queued it up.
Yeah.
But when you watch the Good Morning America interview, you see like little fragments, like little glimpses of of a normal 9-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you see it, and you look at it and you go, oh right, this is funny and this is all that, but this is also a little kid. She's like apparently a straight A student. She plays the clarinet or some shit.
Yeah.
She's in all these after school activities.
Yeah.
Not that makes it okay, but you start to see like, oh.
But if she's smart, she'd probably be able to do a good character.
She has a crush on this other boy, the yodeling kid or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh right, I forget. This is a kid. This is a 9-year-old girl. I
feel like there was a kid in a movie that was just like, I'm trying to remember back in the day, there was like a movie with like think about, this is like a stretch, but like even Urkel. Like I don't know how old Urkel was when they did that show, but like that's a character.
Yeah.
Granted, a very pleasant character and a nice goofy character, but like if Urkel had a Twitter following back in the day, that would have been massive. You know what I mean? Just seeing Urkel like run around the mall or something like that, like that would have gotten just as popular. You know what I mean? Except for, I think the kid it's just a nature of the character is nice versus not nice,
right?
You know, and I think that's where the line starts to get drawn, or at least like red flags go up. You know what I mean? Well,
and there was never any doubt about whether Urkel was a character or not. Urkel didn't do interviews in character like Lil Tay did,
right?
Or any of that. Urkel
like
wasn't
Ali G is like
that's true.
Yeah, but he's also a fully grown man.
These glasses cost more than your mama's rent.
My high school education cost more than your mama's rent. Those pants.
All right, we got one more story. Let's see what we got here. These fucking people. Okay, so this happened in Italy.
Uh-oh.
There was this Canadian woman, and she was in Italy, and she was riding one of the trains. We don't have a ton of trains here in the U.S., but it's like essentially...
Not in L.A. anyway.
No. It's essentially a subway system above the ground, which feels weird to describe it that way, but if you live in the United States, you're like, trains?
It's like Amtrak or something.
Bullet train.
Like
yeah, it's like Amtrak, but like very accessible, whereas Amtrak really isn't. So anyway, there's this Canadian woman riding the trains. She somehow gets off on the wrong side of the train and steps out, falls off onto the tracks.
Mind the gap. Holy shit.
Right. And injures herself really, really bad.
Yeah.
Now, injures one of her legs. So there was this other guy, like some bystander or whatever, who thought it would be, I don't know, a good idea to take a selfie of himself with this injured woman and the paramedics surrounding her in the background. And I have this picture, and it's, awful and makes me sick and all this other stuff. But I want you to take a look at it. Let me cue it up really quick.
Why do you want me to take a look at it?
Because it's a thing. It's a thing. There we go. Okay. So I want you to take a look at it really quick because the picture makes it worse, right? So you
probably just see smiling. It'll pop up here in a second.
Yeah. So
he's like super happy. Just a picture of pride.
Well, it's a picture from the side. Okay, if you can see
it.
Gonna
see it.
Yeah.
I feel like in a couple years, phones are going to be like how cigarettes were. Oh boy,
you see that?
And so, but this is a third photo, or is this a security camera? Because
no,
this is a person taking a picture of a person.
So this is a journalist. Like this is apparently a journalist took a picture of the scene and caught this guy there on the left.
Oh.
Whereas, with
his freaking man purse. First of all, that guy should get pushed on the tracks for that man purse.
Right, and it looks like he's giving a peace sign. It looks like he's throwing up deuces.
Oh God,
isn't that?
It's awful.
It's terrible. Now, apparently, the police. So first of all, this woman was injured so bad she had to have one of her legs amputated, like the injured leg. That's how serious this was. Yeah. This wasn't like, oh, I sprained my ankle. This was really, really bad.
This is a big deal.
So apparently the police saw this and went up to the guy and asked him to delete the photo.
Fuck yeah.
Which I don't know if he did or not, but the police, it's not illegal, so they can't arrest him or anything like that. It's just unethical.
Yeah. It's just like a douchebag law. Like, man, don't you see, like, can't you see that you're being a douchebag? Like, I don't understand. Like, what are you thinking with that purse?
It's the purse. It's all about the purse.
What are you thinking? I mean, taking a picture like that too. I mean, God. And I want to know why did the door to the train open on the wrong side? Like, whose train is this? Like,
I don't know. I'm sure there. Who knows the way it works in Italy? But I'm sure there are lawsuits abundant amount of lawsuits.
Yeah, right.
From that whole thing, you're gonna don't open. Like, that's the thing. Definitely don't open, because I'll get off on the wrong side if you open the wrong door. I don't know. I'm an idiot.
Shit. I think. I mean, there's people like that out there that just want to do some stuff like that. I was in an Uber the other night, driving home from the theater. I own a comedy club, and I was driving home. Westside Comedy.
Yeah, plug.
I was driving home, right, and I'm in an Uber, so I've had a couple drinks. I'm pretty drunk, not super drunk, but drunk enough not to drive.
Okay.
So we're driving down the 10 West, and me and this Uber guy roll up, and like we're like the first responders. There's a car on the side of its. On its side in the middle of the highway. It's like 2:30 in the morning on the middle of the highway. And we drive by and we just see these people in the windshield, like standing like this. Like, and the guy's like, hey, can we stop? I'm like, yeah, stop the car. So we get out. We're like pulling these people out of the car. I'm like standing in the middle of the highway, pulling down traffic like this. Right. And the same shit, man. I'm like directing traffic and stuff like that. And people are slowing down. But as they're slowing down, they're like selfieing this car on its side. Like, you know what I mean? Like taking a photo, and these people are still in. They look like almost like it looked like a hamster in a glass cage. It just was so disorienting to see a car on its side and people standing. And thank God they were fine. Everybody was fine, but they were dizzy and like in shock and stuff. But like people were driving by taking selfies of them. Not I don't want to say selfies, like, but just photos. I don't get that. I don't get that. Like, why do you... I get it's shocking. I get that it's, like, shocking. But people just don't think about how the other person is in that situation. Right. Of, like, why do you think that person wants a photo of them out there where they're petrified? You know what I mean? Like, they don't. Yeah, exactly. They don't. But that's just what people want to do. Just take that photo and, like, them post it. I don't think that should be. I think there should be some sort of, scan for that, or like the freedom of the press is one thing and the freedom of speech is another thing. But like I never understood why it's legal to take a photo of someone in public, like paparazzi. I never got that. I never understood why paparazzi is still legal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I guess because it's in public and it's public property, and I guess I'm trying to figure out the logic behind it too.
Image.
No, I get it.
You know what I mean?
I get it. I see what you're saying. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying I think that's the sentiment behind it, is that it is in public. It's public property, so anyone can, take pictures or film whatever they want to an extent. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a shitty thing to do, to film an accident, like as people are being hurt. Sure, if everyone is fine and then you want to take a picture of the car or something after, I think that's fine. But like, don't take pictures of people when they're panicking and shit.
Yeah. I mean, there's one thing, like even like the NFL or something, like if somebody gets hurt, that's like journalism,
right?
You know what I mean? That those people are there for that reason. They're telling the story. They're prepared to do that. Just to like show a bunch of people on the side of the street, or some lady on the side of the train tracks, and then they'll like look like you're happy about it. Like, thank God you can't see the look on that guy's face, because I bet you any money it's like him smiling and making some dumbass look or something.
Oh yeah, he's throwing up a peace sign or whatever.
Yeah.
Or he snapped 1,000 of those to make sure that he looked good, while the other person in the back is in pain.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I just wish that people, when they would see that photo, and maybe this is the cultural change that happens slowly over time, is like, instead of like being like, oh my God, dude, you're an asshole, man.
Yeah.
So every person he shows that goes, you're a fucking prick, bro. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. I actually hope so too. And that's what I'm guessing happened. I'm guessing if you did that in real life, that you would show people, you'd be like, hey, cousin, look at this photo I took. Look, this woman fell off the train and she was hurt, and like, look, I got a selfie. And cousin is like, dude, you're a prick.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I get that you couldn't go, maybe you're not qualified to go and help or anything like that, but like, don't make a mockery of this woman who was clearly injured. This isn't a like, oops, fell, isn't that kind of funny?
Yeah.
Like, this woman had to have a leg amputated, which I know you can't know at the time, but you can know when someone is clearly injured.
Yeah.
I get it. If someone trips and it's kind of silly that they tripped and all that, and they fell over and they're not really hurt, like, yeah, then it's like, you fell, dummy, or whatever. Like, I get that. But when someone is clearly injured, you don't want your image of it. That's your most vulnerable moment.
I feel like we live in an age where like people aren't like honest with each other enough. And I say honest, I guess, but like you have to be like that guy doesn't have enough friends. You know what I mean? Like somebody should have been like, "What are you doing?" You know, like called his friend on it. You know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like people don't. They're so like touchy feely with everybody. Nobody wants to get in trouble, and nobody wants to like be ashamed or like you should feel dumb sometimes. Like you should feel stupid, and your friends around you are the ones that make you understand that. You know what I mean? Like that. That's what that guy needs. He needs some fucking boys around him being like, first of all, that purse, dude, shame on you. And secondly, like, what are you doing? Stop being a dictator.
So it sounds like you want to maybe bring back bullying.
I mean, you should be bullied if it keeps you in line. You know what I mean? If you're doing that, you should be bullied for that behavior. Like you shouldn't be bullied because of the way you look or like what your clothes are. You should be bullied based on your behavior. And if you're a douchebag, I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
Just like targeted bully. The CIA could drop in like special, bullies, like undercover bullies or whatever.
Like a 35-year-old who looks like 14.
Yeah. And they inject like narcs into high school and stuff sometimes into high schools, and they try to catch drug offenders and shit. So it would be like that. They just inject like bullies into life. Yeah, and it's like a douchey guy named Todd with a chain and shit. And he's like, "You're a little bitch for taking that picture, bro." And smacks him in the back of the head.
Yeah, exactly. And then he takes a picture of him with his hand on his head, like, "Ow, my head." Like, how do you look, man?
Yeah, how do you look? You little bitch. That's what we should have. That's the solution. Targeted, like government-funded, targeted bullies.
Targeted bullies.
Yeah, I want my tax dollars
Starring
to go to that.
Brad Pitt and Charlie Sheen.
Right, and then those bullies that just walk around and they go up to like Lil Tay's mom and they're like, "You're terrible at this."
Right. Like you should be, first of all, paying your rent because your daughter is paying your rent right now.
Right.
Yeah. I always wanted to do that with paparazzi. Do like called paparazzi, where like a celebrity could hire me in my service, and I have like 90 flash mob paparazzi dudes with just absurdly large cameras and like flashes the size of like alien ships. And like, all right, we'd be like, all right, we're working for Ashton Kutcher today, right? Okay, so Ashton Kutcher gets out of the LAX and he's walking to his car, and then there's this whole swarm, and then here we come, like all 90 of us, and we just like run guard for Ashton Kutcher, like blow all their photos out, like because they're too light. Paparazzi.
Oh wow! So you just run interference on the original paparazzi. You're like the B team. And you're like you're tripping them accidentally. You're getting in their way. Your shots are messing up their shots.
None of the shots are of Ashton Kutcher either. Like we all back to him, and like
all the shots are the back of your guys' heads.
It's like some Batman shit.
I'm into that.
Yeah, man.
I'm definitely into that. I would back that.
Flash mob, paparazzi.
Let's invest in that. The anti-paps paps.
That'd be so great. I think you should just start doing it randomly to celebrities too. Like you don't tell them, and then you just become their heroes. Like imagine you're like Kanye, right, or whoever else is super hot right now. Like I don't know, whoever. And then all of a sudden, then just this crew of Epic Lloyd and his merry men come running after you, and all of a sudden it becomes a legend. And then we strike fear into the heart of the paparazzi everywhere.
Oh my god!
And then pretty soon people start getting tattoos. And then we have symbols, and then they slowly just creeps globally, and we become Banksy.
Oh, is that what it is? Like it's a weird performance art thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe the solution is you get a guy like Kanye, and he just gets 4 bodyguards that surround him at all times, one on each corner.
Yeah.
And they all have like huge handheld like floodlights.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So anytime people get near them, they just flash these massive lights in their face, and it ruins every picture, every paparazzi photo, every fan that wants to come up. Yeah. It's just this big light. Or they could just be like a clown, and they just have the bottle of seltzer and just spray it.
I don't think you can touch them. I think that's illegal. I think you can't.
You can't spray them with.
You can't spray them.
Pie in the face is a no-go.
Nope. You can't. That's right. Because light. There's no power there. I mean, there's no actual touching. So light works, which makes me think that Kanye could totally do that. So maybe he wants to have the paparazzi around him. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, he's living out of the Kim Kardashian playbook. Yeah. In fact, what someone who runs, there's like an alternative. There's a couple of alternatives to TMZ, right?
There are?
Yeah, there's like Hollywood
Reporter
something. Yeah, they're where they follow these they have teams of paparazzis. Most paparazzis are independent, but sometimes they work for a company, and they seek out celebrities and stuff.
Yeah.
And what this guy told me, he told me that most celebrities who get followed are into it and they're in on it and they go places because paparazzi hang out there because it's publicity for them. Right? So they don't fight it. And then you think of people who are massive and who never get paparazzi, guys like Tom Hanks.
Right.
Guys like that, because they avoid all the places that the paparazzi are going to be, and they're not in touch or in tune with those paparazzi companies. So this same guy told me that he's friends with the Kardashian family. They called him after the whole Ray J sex tape blew up, right?
Right.
And Kim wasn't that famous other than that tape. And they said, can you help us make, he's kind of a fixer kind of guy. His company was young. He said, can you help us make this go away? And he's like, well, I can help you turn it into a thing. And so what he did was he got like 5 of his paparazzi to follow Kim Kardashian around everywhere and made it seem like she was more famous than what she actually was. And so then the Kardashian family would call him before they went anywhere, and he would send his paparazzi.
Wow.
Now he had never really done that before. It was kind of an experiment, and the Kardashians had never done that before too. But once he started doing that, once the Kardashians got into that, they just kept doing it for years and years. And probably to this day, they go somewhere and they want paparazzi. They just call them, "Hey, we're going to be here. Come shoot us."
Paparazzi to go.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That just shows you how much smoke and mirrors exist in the entertainment world.
Oh, yeah.
Like living in LA, and I've lived here since 2005, you feel like this is real sometimes. And then you leave and you go and you like visit literally anywhere else except for Vegas.
Right.
And you're like, oh yeah, this is not real.
Nope.
This city is not real. Everything else is real, and this is a reflection of that.
Yeah.
But it's tough to see the forest from the trees sometimes when you're like in the middle of it every day, you know?
Yeah, well,
Man.
show business is all bullshit anyway. But how often have you seen like these? You see these lists and you see this stuff, and it's like such and such is the hot new artist or the hot new actor, and you look at it and you go, who?
Yeah.
How often does that happen? I would say that happens most of the time. You're like,
music
how is this?
too?
Right, and the music, and you're like, how is this person? Or they say such and such is the hot new musician, or such and such is the hot new actor, and then you go look at their social media and you go, no, they're not.
No, they're not. Yeah.
No.
Well, that's like the sheeple thing. Like if the radio station said they are, then that's it. Or the hottest new. You're like, all right. Well, aren't we just supposed to decide that? You guys just told us that. That's just marketing, though. I mean,
yeah.
Shit.
Well, the industry is definitely it's like a boys' club, and you have to be in it. You have to have PR. You have to have all this shit to really pop and sustain it within that world, within that like Hollywood industry world.
Yeah.
And that's what gets you to like, you get invited to the Grammys and the Emmys. And how many people do you know that work in the industry who haven't achieved very much who get invited to the Grammys and the Emmys? It's because they're in that scene.
Well, that was one thing that I learned. I learned that in Chicago. Coming from the East Coast and growing up in New England and stuff, you thought about show business as like this feast or famine kind of industry where you're like, man, you're either super rich or you're living in your car. And then when I moved to Chicago, that was the first taste of it I really got. I discovered that there's this whole middle ground of like blue collar working actors who are, making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year, which is not like crazy money, but it's like a livable wage, and they're doing their job. They're just, and that is a large percentage of, I would say, actors, and whether it's actors or musicians or grips or PAs or producers or whatever, like that literally it's almost like a microcosm of the United States of like the middle class is what makes that industry run.
Right.
And you have like the millionaires. But that was like, it sounds so simple, but that was such a relief to me when I moved to Chicago, going like, oh my God, if I don't become the star of the next hottest sitcom, I can still make a living doing what I love. It was nice.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Especially now with the internet and all that stuff. There's definitely a sort of middle class, and it's hard to get there, but there's definitely a middle class in entertainment that you can aspire to get to.
Yeah. And it doesn't like crush your dreams if you're there for 5 years and you're not, all of a sudden like a big star. That was good.
Well, a lot of people, it is their dream to even get there, to be like, well, shit, I'm doing what I love and I'm paying my bills. Like, how many people get to do that? How many people get to say that?
Right.
Most of the world, I would say, doesn't get to say that.
Agreed.
That they get to do what they love and do that to pay their bills.
Well, speaking of, this has been fun.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Okay, so we just hit an hour, so we are good to sign out of the official episode, and then we can talk to you guys for a second. Now we can actually acknowledge the chat in this pod stream. So let's close it out, and then we'll talk to you guys really quick here on Facebook Live. All right, thank you for watching this episode of Kings of Influence, Episode 1.
Episode 1.
I am Ray William Johnson.
I'm Epic Lloyd. This is Kings of Influence every Wednesday at 12 PST. We'll be back here, and thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.